Mm-hmm. He was born in Columbus, raised in the gray, bled scarlet through every autumn day. Played his heart out down in the shoe, a Buckeye forever, through and through. He led the Bearcats, built them from dust, turned dreams into trophies. In Luke they trust, but the call of the North, those Badger cheers, led him to Madison. It's been too cold here. Oh, Luke, come back home to Columbus town. You don't belong where the snow keeps you down. The jump around's over, the fire's gone out. Your heart's in Ohio, there's no doubt. They promised him glory, they promised the crown, but the cheese curds are bitter when you're losing ground. Those red and white stripes just don't feel the same when the Bucks come rolling, calling your name. Oh, Luke, come back home to Columbus town, where the old Ajax goes all around. You gave them your best, but it's time to go where the horseshoe hums and the Buckeyes glow. The crowd in Madison once sang your song, but now those echoes don't last long. Ryan's got room, he'll save you a chair. Come back home, Luke, your family's there. Oh, Luke, come back home to Columbus town. The lights still shine, the flag still sound. No need to wonder, no need to roam. Your scarlet heart said, Luke, come back home. The only jumping round in Wisconsin tonight are the dreams that fell from Coach Fix 5. Yeah! Woo! It's down in Champaign Town, where the cornfields blow, lives a man named Bert with that Midwestern glow. Got a playbook thick as a Thanksgiving feast, but when the Bucks roll in, it's past the beast. Oh, Bert, believe me, where'd your magic go? You've been sipping that Ozempic, but your offense is slow. Ryan Day's coming with the scarlet flood, gonna deflate old Bert like a pumpkin in the mud. Say there's a turtle made of wood and pride, called the yellow buck, yeah, that's the pride. But Ohio State's hungry, and they came to dine. We'll take your turtle, Bert, and maybe your O-line. Oh, Bert, believe me, watch the scoreboard grow. The Buckies are storming like a red tornado. You can chug your Gatorade or sip that juice, but there's no Ozempic that can slim this truce. They'll say go Illinois, but the crowd looks blue when Jeremiah Smith the crowd's gone numb. Oh, Bert Bielema, it's a tough old scene. Your Illinois dreams meet the Scarlet Machine. So hold that turtle and give a grin, 'cause the Bucks are coming and they always win. Oh, 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 get it. Oh, 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 get it. Oh, 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 hey. Oh, 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 now do it. Oh, 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 get it. Oh, 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 1, 2, 3, come on. Oh! OHIO! 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 OH! 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 Ohio! 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 OHIO!
And welcome back to another edition of the Monday Night Call-In Show. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and we're thankful to have you with us this evening. Tonight's show brought to you by A Place at Home Dublin. That's right, folks. Go to A Place at Home /Dublin. Go check them out if you need any help with your elderly loved ones. And maybe they can help with assisting them with dressing, bathing, medication reminders, things like that. aplaceathome.com /Dublin. Call them 740-472-8181. My bookie, that's right, folks, $500 if you use the promo code OHIO. Bet back bonus from my bookie. Thankful for our sponsors this evening. The phone lines are open, 567-483-1999. Make sure you give us a ring. Tell us everything about Buckeye Nation that you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to go to our first caller right off the bat this evening. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear from Buck Vader himself. Good evening, Buck Vader. Welcome to the OHIO podcast, my friend.
Hey Boggs of Bass, it's Vader. I'm back and apparently just in the nick of time. Seriously, dude, Ace of Bass, really? It's going to be okay, we will get you help. So I got a recap of what I liked and didn't like. I'll also tell everyone how the Buckeyes can fix the running game. I also have a thoughts about who could be the next coach for Penn State.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear it. I open up my heart to all of you and share that I listened to Ace of Base as a child, that I enjoyed their song, and all of a sudden I'm getting made fun of and I need help. Okay, I see how it is tonight. I got you, Caden. I got your super chat, buddy. I saw that. All right, let's hear it, buddy. You can start with wherever you want. You want to start with Buckeyes? You want to start with Penn State? Hit me with what you got, brother.
First, let's talk about what I liked. Julian Sayin is him. I told everyone we don't need to worry about quarterback and Julian Sayin. This is what Coach Day does. He finds quarterbacks, he trains them, and they end up in New York City. The only difference with Julian Sayin, at some point he's going to come from New York City with a Heisman. Our receivers, I swear we just create them in a lab. Smith and Tate should be the first receivers of the board in the next 2 drafts. Innes had his best game. Teams think we don't throw to him. Okay, Sayin will find him in the back of the end zone. Max Clare, yes, I'm calling him a receiver. He's not a tight end anymore because he couldn't block a garage truck in an alley. But as a receiver, he's great at beating the zone, moving the sticks. Not to mention when our starters need a break or twist their ankle, Graham and Porter come in and you can't even tell because they are just as good. I can't wait to see if West can build on his best game as a Buckeye. Finally, our defense is historically elite. I won't bore everyone with recapping how dominating they are because it's become what they do every week. But is it just me or is it even better with Matthews at the nickel?
Ooh, it does feel that way, doesn't it? I think if you're going to make that move, you need Devin Sanchez to get more reps, obviously. You don't want to put him in late in the season in a big situation without having some really good game reps during the season. So if we're going to make that move, we need to make that move now. However, I will say this, before he was injured, I felt that Lorenzo Styles Jr. was playing incredibly well. He had one bad play, in all honesty, one really bad play against Ohio. And then other than that, I thought he had done a pretty good job. So um, I'm down the clown with all of that. Fixing the run game, interesting take there on Isaiah West. Um, so yeah, I mean Julian Saint is definitely him. Okay, do you have anything else about the Ohio State offense before we talk Penn State, Vader?
Now let's talk about what I didn't like.
Okay, let's do
First,
that.
Tigra needs to sit in my opinion at least for a little while. He's lost his confidence and is getting worse every game. I like what I've seen from Padilla so far. Personally, I would do what my good friend and Ohio podcaster suggested, bringing in Padilla at center and move Hinsman to guard. I just know we have to keep Sayin as safe as possible. We need to fix the run blocking. I watched the game over again on Sunday. I noticed when the run blocking scheme is complicated, we struggle. When it's simple, we make big holes. I think the solution is obvious. Let's go with Bo Jackson and West and keep it simple. Finally, we must do something about the special teams. This is getting embarrassing. I honestly don't know how Tressel is still alive at this point. I'm not going to even suggest solutions, just fix it. We can develop elite players at every position, but we can't play special teams even average. It makes no sense. I truly believe if we correct these fairly easy to correct problems, I don't see anyone beating us.
I agree. I agree. And they are fixable. That's the thing. I think they are fixable. Move Hinsman to guard, put Padilla at center. If you're going to do that, you need to do it right now. You can't wait. If that's the solution, we got to do it now in the bye week. I have a feeling, and I've got feelers out there to find out if that's what they're going to do. But I have a feeling that that's not what they're going to do because they don't want to move Hinsman because he's done so well with Julian Saint as his center so far. And Hinsman is probably competing right now for the Remington. And so making that move would really hurt him for winning that award. And I don't think that they're going to want to do that. Plus, it might, I mean, his draft stock's only going up right now as a center. So they might put Padilla in there and let him compete with Tegra. That was the last intel I got, which Vader you alluded to on Patreon a couple, I think it was a day ago, that the next 2 weeks was all about Padilla competing with Tegra Shabola at the right guard position to see who would win out as the starter moving forward. So that's definitely something that we need to look at. But I agree with you. Tegra is really struggling at this point. It was really bad upon the rewatch. He was getting beat so often that it was more times than not he was getting beat, and he was getting beat badly. All right. Who is your Penn State choice of coach, Vader?
Let's talk about who could be the next coach for Penn State. I keep getting the most smoke about Matt Rhule. He went there. Joe Pa was his hero and mentor. Right now Penn State is in a bad place. They spent a ton of money and had high hopes. Now those hopes have come crashing down. When a program is down, they often want someone with ties to the state or the program. The Buckeyes did this the last 3 times we were down. After Cooper, we hired Tressel. When he got in trouble, we ran to Meyer. After last year's disappointing loss to Ton, all the buzz was around guys from Ohio or ties to Ohio State. Today I got some info about possible other candidates, but as I just explained, they also have ties. D.D. Diaz, Brady, and a name that I'm sure will shock everyone because it shocked me, Mike McCarthy. I love Wildman's idea of Brome, but he left Louisville once and said it was the worst mistake of his life. I'm not sure he's ready to do that again. As a Buckeye fan, I hope they do hire one of the four connected to program because none of them solve the issues that are holding them back. My opinion, the guy that does that is Hartline. He is an elite recruiter who will nationwide. This is what Penn State needs more than anything because Pennsylvania is not the talent-rich state it once was. He'll bring energy and excitement. He believes in player development and can build the staff to do just from his contacts at Ohio State. These are the issues holding Penn State back. I believe Hartline could do for Penn State what Lanning did for Oregon.
Interesting. I don't want it to happen. I literally just made a video for tomorrow morning about Brian Hartline. Make sure you guys check that out tomorrow morning. I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a second after this phone call. Matt Rule, I'm getting a very big vibe from Penn State fans. They don't want him. I made a video about the top 5 candidates in my mind for Penn State. We talked about it last night on the roundtable show. We came up with our top 5 list candidates. I threw it out there on the college huddle, and Penn State fans are vehemently rejecting the idea of Matt Rule, which I find interesting. I think they're really scared because they don't think Matt Rule was even better than James Franklin, which they might have a point there. Jeff Brom, again, I think would he leave Louisville? You're gonna have to pay him a whole bunch of money to have him leave Louisville. Kenny Dillingham is the name I would go after. He's young like Brian Hartline, but he has head coaching experience. Problem is, he's also coaching at his alma mater, Arizona State. But Arizona State's not paying him handsomely, and he's complained about Arizona State's ability to fund the program properly. I think you can get him. Just saying. So it's going to be very, very interesting if Brian Hartline gets a opportunity to interview for that job, and they pull him away from Ohio State in December before the playoffs, that could really derail our postseason chances. Think about that. Can't let that happen. All right, Vader, anything else, buddy? Or is that all you got, my man?
Okay, people, if you haven't got a $5 membership, what are you waiting for? We are literally dropping multiple nuggets daily. Exclusive videos. I am dropping several detailed blogs a week. You can watch live Ohio State games without the annoying announcers who deep down hate our Buckeyes.
That's right.
If you consider yourself a true Buckeye fan, you must become a member on Patreon.
That was Buck Vader, everybody. Thanks for the phone call, buddy. And as he pointed out, the link is right below this Patreon. $5. That's all it costs to get a membership to get all of that extra content. You like this hat? $20 membership gets you the hat. It's a $25 value, by the way. So I'm actually losing money giving this to you for a $20 membership, but you'll make it up in the long run, I know. And sure way of saying thank you for everything you do here at YouTube and over on Patreon now for the OHIO podcast for all of you Buckeye fans. Please consider doing so if you haven't already. There is a free membership sign up. You don't get a whole lot, not gonna lie. You get one message board, but it might be a way for you to just look into it, look at it, see if you like it, and who knows, maybe we'll throw you a bone, give you a free day. We did a free video for everybody, a free watch along last Friday night for everybody, so you never know when we'll do that for even the free members. It's definitely worth it. Go check it out. Thanks for the phone call, Vader. Terrific job, buddy. All right, before we go to Caden, who, by the way, put in a super chat. That's why he's next up in line. If you want to make sure you get your phone call in, you don't want to wait on the phone and listen on the phone, hit me up with a super chat. We'll have you skip the line. I love everything about that, except I mentioned it before. I did a video tomorrow about Brian Hartline as offensive coordinator. Some of the people complaining about him as OC, I don't get it. I try to explain to everybody why you shouldn't be complaining about Hartline as OC. That video is going to be fire tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. All right. Caden the Diesel Freak, what is happening?
And the phone lines come all the way down one way to Suplex City. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing fine. I heard you got banned from Saturday's call-in show by Chris. What the heck happened, man?
Well, your buddy here, the Buckeye of a beast, had to say what was on his mind, but I guess Chris wasn't ready for what the diesel free, how much hell was going to be raised on Saturday. Because Saturday, somebody was fired up to finally get to put the nail in the coffin of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin fans have been driving me nuts all last week. And so my bubble bursted. And so somebody had to let the beast out of the cage. No apologies. That's what happens when you have a 6'1", 200-pound guy with a lot of fire in his soul. No apologies required. But seriously, I don't give a crap that Chris banned me. It's his loss.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
It's his loss that the baddest Buckeye, the beast of a Buckeye, is not going to be able to fire up the Buckeye fans on Saturday mornings when I'm out in the field, because Chris Wilde can't handle the energy and the fire that's in this beast of a Buckeye fan. Well, clearly Chris isn't ready for somebody like myself and can't handle the intensity I bring as a Buckeye fan. That's the one issue he's got.
Well,
and oh no, he has to be all sensitive about it. Well, that's his problem and his fault. I'm the one Buckeye who's bringing it every single week on this daggone platform. And as the baddest Buckeye on this planet,
Caden,
I will say this.
Listen, buddy. Your self-promotion, I think, is what rubs him the wrong way. Like, he wants to talk ball, and it seems like all you want to talk about yourself. Would you agree with that?
I honestly disagree.
Okay.
I honestly disagree, because the only reason I come on Saturday is to talk Buckeyes. I said simply, in my opinion, and I told them this, that nobody is stopping this Ohio State team. Nobody. Not Pussy State University, not Scum University, and dang sure not Bama is stopping this team. Is not stopping this defense. And if you read my $2 super chat, which, by the way, I donated every so often to the OHL podcast. By the way, second longest donator of super chats to the OHL podcast in my research. I said it simply: this Buckeye defense likes to hurt opponents. Simple as that. That's the mentality of that locker room in the Horseshoe every single week, and they don't give a rat's about who it is. They're going to feast.
Okay.
What? I'm being honest, Eric. I'm being honest.
I mean, yes. I just don't. I mean, how do you want me to respond to that? Like, I agree. Their defense is really, really good. Like, generationally good so far. You're not
generationally.
Yeah.
I call this team the Baltimore Ravens dream team, and I have Baltimore Ravens fans as friends, and they said that this team, this defense, is like if the Ravens brought every bad man walking, Adrian Wilson, James Harrison, and I mean Patrick Wilson, Navarro Bowman of the 49ers with Sean Taylor, Brian Dawkins, and I mean some of the meanest hard-hitting safeties, Cam Chancellor, on the same team as Ray Lewis, Henry, and Terrell Suggs on defense. You cannot stop them. And that's this defense. Nobody can stop this defense. And this defense is lighting people up like you've never seen anybody get lit up. Holy cow.
I mean, it should make you happy, Caden, because this is exactly what you were preaching for over the summer. I mean, this is exactly...
over the last 8 months.
Yeah.
over the last 8 months, and y'all thought I was crazy.
No,
Y'all thought I lost my mind.
we didn't think you were crazy. We were just, I think you're.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing, Eric. It's not you. It's some particular Ohio State fans, including your buddy, who banned me from Saturday calling shows, Chris, who unfortunately let his ego get in his way, which is the other thing. He let his ego get in his way.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a fair statement at all. I know Chris personally. We hang out a lot. We've worked together now for a long time. That man does not have an ego at all. Zero ego. In fact, that man is one of the most down to earth, compassionate people I've ever met. So I think you've misread that completely.
Well, I'll tell you this, Eric. And here's the thing, and this is my personal opinion. That you can disagree with me with this, but it seems like I've kind of felt this about Chris. It's whenever I tell him that I told Notre Dame fans, Scum University fans, and the Pussy State fans. By the way, you should know who I'm referencing as PSU. I told them over and over and over again, you cannot stop this Ohio State team. And I said it simply last weekend. If you cannot hang with the big dogs, you cannot run, you can't feast with the big dogs, then get the out. Get lost. This is where the big dogs roam in this conference.
Caden, they can't get lost.
Man,
They got to play the games, man.
no.
The games are going to get played, bro.
The problem is that they want to keep on coming back. They think that they're going to beat us. But in the end, they're getting their kicked, and they're going to get their carcasses beaten so many dang times. Southern Cal's going to have more casualties than Pussy State University.
Penn State fans do not think they're going to beat us, dude. I mean, if they're out there talking like that, literally they're trolling. They don't believe it. Trust me. You go to their message boards, you go to their Facebook pages, you go to the videos on the College Huddle that I made from Penn State fans. Zero faith and hope right now. The only hope they have right now is they fired James Franklin, and they are excited about that because they finally have hope in the future based off of who they hire. They know they're coming into Columbus on a 4-game losing streak. Sure, there might be a little bit of, hey, roll the helmets out there, see what happens. You take a shot, you never know. They're still got plenty of talent, but they're on a 4-game losing streak. Trust me, those Penn State fans are not coming in here thinking they're going to win this game, Caden.
Well, I'm going to say this. They're about to lose another game, and they're about to really feel what it's like to be in the horseshoe with 100,000 Buckeye fans screaming at the top of the lungs on third down when hell's bells ring and that defense is eating that Pussy State offense alive like you've never seen, as we should know. And this is the same team. And let me point this out to Pussy State University fans. Whoever they hire as head coach next is going to learn the same lesson as Franklin. You can give your soul to the Lord, but your belongs to us. That's the key word, and that's the bottom line. Your belongs to us. That's simple as that. And I'll say this, and here's the possibility, Eric. I could have 5 more national championships in my lifetime if this Buckeye defense keeps playing it the way they are, and we keep recruiting the way we are. And heck, I could have more national championships in my lifetime than my old rivals from Alabama, because I could have 7 more national championships in my lifetime, and I surpassed my Alabama fans before I turned 30. Heck, it's the possibilities.
I mean, Ohio State's on a roll right now, Caden. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. It could be a possibility. I think Ohio State has 9 national championships now. If we go back to back, that'll be number 10. It'll be the first time ever in school history we've won back-to-back national championships. And so that would be the 4th in my lifetime. I'm assuming that would be the 3rd in your lifetime.
No, fourth.
Okay, so you were born after born before 2002?
Just at like the 0203 mark, like in
Okay.
that weird
So
period.
you were a little baby Diesel. All right, I got you. Little baby Diesel when we won 2002. You don't remember it. I got you. I remember it. I was in college. Remember it very well. Um. So yeah, it would be
Then
impressive.
14 would be my second. 24 would be my third. Then 25 would be my fourth.
Okay. All right. I'm giving you credit for it.
Then 26 would be my fifth. 27 would be my sixth. 28 would be my seventh. 29 would be my eighth. And holy cow, it would feel so dang good to feel all them rings on this fist. Oh man,
Okay. Okay,
all that
Kate.
gold.
Do you honestly? You're gonna sit there and you're gonna tell me. Are you saying that's what's going to happen? Is that your prediction, or you're saying it's a possibility?
I'm saying it's a possibility.
Okay.
But think about it, Eric. Six national championships in my lifetime? 6 more? I mean, it could happen. And let me point this out to you, Eric. It's a little fun. See, I listened to someone in particular, and I heard Chris Wilds talking, and I saw Chris Wilds post it, and I saw him post about banning me from Saturday shows because, unfortunately, he can't handle the mental capacity of mine. And I've seen a bunch of people that I really don't like, and people on the internet that really despise my guts comment on that post. And I said, you know what? That's fine. And you know what? I have a little message for Chris Wilds, actually, Eric, if he's listening, or if he's listening from afar. If you got a second, Eric.
You've got 1 minute left on your phone call. Go for it.
I just wanted to tell Chris, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Simply from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Not only am I free of listening to you, there's actually one person that honestly can stand my guts more than yourself. And that's your buddy Eric, who actually knows the true Diesel Freak. Unfortunately, you never get to know the true story of the Diesel Freak. But that's your loss. So, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. And Eric, I want you to tell Chris yourself when you get off this college show. I want you to text Chris, and I want you to record, or hell, record this, record what I said. Just tell us I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because now I'm the exclusive member of the Monday night calling shows.
All right, Caden. There you have it. I will let him know. Thanks for the call in, buddy. OH.
IO and scum sucks.
There you go. I gotta tell Chris he said thank you. All right, let's keep it moving. Sometimes I just sit here and I ask myself what's happening in life, man. I sometimes I just don't know. David, welcome to the OHIO podcast, buddy.
Thanks for taking my call, brother.
You're welcome as always, man. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I don't know what you got for me tonight. What's your line of questions?
Sure, yeah, I can throw some topics out there at you. I put a video together earlier today. A longtime listener, follower of the podcast, good friend of mine, Jay Thompson, sent me a message. He said, Eric, I want you to consider Julian Sane is the next Drew Brees. And I sat down over the weekend and I thought about that, and I had to put a video together about it. And 1998 was Drew Brees' sophomore year. It was his second year in college. And Drew Brees that year had some amazing stats. But believe it or not, I'm not so sure Julian Sane's stats aren't better. In fact, I'll throw these up so everybody can see it here as we go through this conversation, if you don't mind. So, David, what do you think about that? Julian Saint is the next Drew Brees.
Yeah, I can see that. I could absolutely see the parallels there. Absolutely. I think Julian Saint though is I think not only does he have better arm talent, but I think he's got better coaching around him. He has better players around him, and we're in an era now where the passing game is so prolific that it would be interesting to see if you took Drew Brees from '98 and inserted him in now to see what Drew Brees would look like in this passing era that we're in college football. It's incredible. Yeah, 80% completion rate. I don't know if I've ever even seen that before. I've certainly not seen anybody maintain that.
Yeah,
they might hit that at like one point in a ball game, then it might come back down to like a 77 or something like that, or even a 78 for like one ball game. But to maintain 80% is absolutely insane.
It is. It's insane. For comparison, David, Brees was his completion percentage in 1998 was 65.1%. He did throw for more yards. He had 3,753 yards, but he also threw the ball for 516 times. Julian Saint, for comparison, is going to be under 400 attempts. So well under 100 less attempts than Drew Brees. Brees had 36 touchdowns. Julian Saint is on pace to be about 35 touchdowns. So he's right there. Julian Saint has thrown 3 interceptions. He's on pace to throw 5.5, 6 this year. Drew Brees threw 17 interceptions in 1998. Drew Brees' QBR was 142.6. Julian Saint's is 189.7. I'm not so sure Julian Saint isn't having a better year than Drew Brees right out of the gate, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. The percentage completions isn't. It's just. I mean, like I said, it's hard to even wrap your mind around the 80%. That 80% number. And if anything jumps off at you, is the 80% and the 3 interceptions. Those are, I think, the two things. And the quarterback rating of a 189, might as well say it's almost a 190.
Yeah.
It's almost a 190. It's off. It's just, and he's only going to get better and better and better. I told Mimi just last night. I said this kid could win 2 Heismans. This kid could win 2 Heismans. If Scum hadn't been cheating for 2 years, we would have already had a quarterback win 2 Heismans. And it's. I think it would be crazy to, in any other circumstance, to talk like this. I don't just see a repeat. First one, I see a three-peat. Because we'll lose it. We're going to lose some guys on defense, but Peyton Pierce has played a whole bunch the last couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting him ready to step into that role for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're starting to get those young guys in the rotation. And I hated that Lorenzo got hurt, man, because his number was all over the field. His number was all over the field, making plays, and I hate that he got hurt. Maybe he can get I'm sure he can get a medical red shirt since it happened so early in the season. But man, the depth that we have is just going to reload. And I'm looking around college football, and I'm not surprised that Miami got beat. Because if you go back and look at their games, they gave up a lot of points. A lot of their games were pretty close, except for the South Florida game. Those games were pretty close. Those games were within a touchdown or so. Those were games that they could have lost. You know, how good is Indiana? I don't know. They've looked great a couple of times already. You know, how much depth do they have? You're going into that second half of the season and beyond. You got to dig into that bench, and the teams that are going to be able to do that are going to be Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. These are the teams that are going to be able to draw and go deep in that bench because they got deep benches. And Signetti may be a great coach. He seems to be a great coach, and I hope for Indiana's sake that he's that guy. I hope for the Big Ten's sake that he's that guy. Because, you know, Ohio State is we've been, everybody's saying, oh, the dynasty. Look, we've been a dynasty my whole life. Okay? Yes, there was a 33-year period where we didn't win any natties. We didn't even play for any. But you're also talking about a different era. You know, it was way harder to get there. Didn't mean we didn't have great teams. You know, we were maybe out in that 33 years, a couple of times where we weren't ranked. You're talking about a time when there wasn't a top 25, there was only a top 20, and you only played 11 games a year. And so for us to be a top 20, top 25 team, we've been a dynasty for a long time. We were still producing All-Americans and first-round draft picks and a Heisman Trophy winner in the 90s. We still had we were still a dynasty, but we weren't the dynasty of old. Now that Tressel brought that dynasty back, and each iteration it gets better, and it gets better, and where we're at is someplace I never thought as 56 years old. I thought we had hit the pinnacle. I've seen a lot of phenomenal defenses in my years. This defense is like something we've never seen before. You want to look at a defense, you got to go back and look at Jordan 21 and 22, what those defenses were.
Yeah, they were good.
They weren't shutting people out like this.
No,
they weren't
not
having
like this.
This is incredible where we're at, and with these schools that are firing their coaches. It's like, dude, we're in a different era in college football, and I pray for anybody that takes the Florida job, because outside of scum fans, the second most delusional fan base are Gator fans.
Well,
they're the second most delusional fan base because they believe that they're an elite program. You're not an elite program. You have 15 years of history where you were elite. All right? It's still a stepping stone school. It's still a stepping stone.
According to their fans, David, Lane Kiffin is their guy. I mean, it's like that is all you hear from Florida fans right now is Lane. We're gonna get Lane Kiffin. We're going after Lane Kiffin. We're gonna get Lane Kiffin. I tell you that would be an interesting hire for them. That's for sure.
If Lane Kiffin, personally, I think Lane Kiffin's smarter than that, and I hope he's smarter than that to go to Florida, because name me a coach that once they were done at Florida, that they were done coaching. There aren't any. Spurrier went to the NFL. He left there. After 10 years, he couldn't wait to get out of there. Left to go to the NFL. Came back. Could have taken the freaking Florida job. If he would have asked, all he had to do was say, hey, I want my job back, they would have gave it back to him in the blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay? And he didn't. That scenario never happened. Because look at and Florida fans want to blame coaches for all their woes.
Urban
Look,
Meyer
man,
or whatever.
It's something with these Florida schools. I'm telling you, I've lived down here most of my life. There's something with these Florida schools. They have a cancer there's a cancer in their locker rooms. And very few coaches are able to overcome that. And Urban overcame it for a short while. But, hey, Spurrier dealt with the same thing. When Spurrier was there, they would win a game. They'd have 4 or 5 guys on the blotter by the end of the night. You're going, dude, I would stay right at Ole Miss. Hey, we all know Brian Kelly's getting fired at the end of this year. I guarantee you, Brian Kelly doesn't make the locker room after their last game of the regular season. He doesn't make the locker room. They'll fire him. They'll fire him. I guarantee he's already fired. Because LSU they've got bags and bags and bags full of money. That's one of the wealthiest college football programs in the country. And Brian Kelly's he's a dead man walking. I don't even know if he even knows it yet. If I was Lane Kiffin and you're looking for another job, LSU is where you want to go.
That's a good point. That is a very good point, David. All right, buddy, we're already over 11 minutes, man. I got to keep it moving tonight. I appreciate your phone call. Give me one. I want you to answer one more thing real fast. If you're the athletic director at Penn State, who are you hiring?
I think I get Golish from USF.
All right. Hey, I can respect that, buddy. Have a good night. OH.
Hi-yo!
All right. That was David. Let's move her on. Let's keep it moving tonight. What up, T?
Eric, did you see the All 22 film I sent in the Patreon?
I saw you made a comment. I didn't see the film. No. What's up with the film?
Honestly, Eric, the offensive line was even worse on the All 22.
Yeah, I saw you post that. I heard you say that.
When I watched it, Eric, Pedro didn't even put a hand on one guy at one point.
I know. I remember that play. Yeah, he whiffed completely.
And what I also watched on the All 22, Eric, our offensive tackles, we set them out so wide that they give up the inside a lot. I don't know if we're coaching that. I don't know if it's just they're bad technique, but if we got a speed rusher we're facing next, that is on film, and that we give up the inside on for our offensive tackles. So, best believe we better be fixing that come November.
100%, Tyler. That needs to be fixed. It has to be obviously what this coaching staff is focused on in the bye week. I would not be surprised if Tager Shabola is not starting against Penn State. Maybe Padilla gets to start at right guard. That seems to be the sentiment that I'm getting from people. I mean, I don't know what happened to Ethan O, but apparently he's not the answer. So we're going to have to go with Padilla. Does Padilla start center and you kick Hinsman out, or do you keep Hinsman there and you kick Padilla out? That's the question. I think that's what they're trying to figure out. My guess is they leave Hinsman at center because of what kind of season he's having there, and they try their luck with Padilla at right guard, and hopefully that cleans up a lot of it. But you are right. It was bad. It was ugly. It might have been you that mentioned it. I think it was you. Even Austin Severville didn't have that great of a game this past Saturday. Um, do you think we can chalk some of it up, T, to the fact that even though Wisconsin stinks, to a man, a ton of former Buckeyes will tell you Madison's one of the toughest places to play a game in Camp Randall.
Honestly, Eric, I don't even know, because I think a part of it is I think defense is a part of why we struggle at the. I've been thinking this for a minute. I think defenses are selling out to stop. When it comes to our run game, they are selling out to stop our running backs. They don't respect Julian as a runner.
But I understand that, and I know you're correct in that, Tyler. But you would think these same defenses are scared to death of our passing game, and they would they would go back into like a soft zone, try to keep everything in front, which would open up running lanes.
I agree, Eric, and that's why I've been on the all-22, Eric. Every team is running cover 3 against us. They are dropping safeties down and run support. That's also another reason. We're running the 8-man boxes. Like, but I'm no. I mean, I know that football is all about getting your players in the space. It's all about getting your players in the space. Well, if you're trying to run in an 8-man box, I don't care who you have back there. If you have Walter Payton back there, I don't care. Or Barry Sanders, it's a lot harder to run against an 8-man box than it is when it's a light box. So I don't know if it's just by design. I don't know if we're just like, if it's we're not being creative. I don't know, Eric. I wish I could give you an answer on that, but it's just a lot of things, a lot of variables have made. Well, and another variable, Eric, is we are missing Trey Henderson and Quinshon Judkins.
Oh yeah, as good as Isaiah West and Bo Jackson are, they're true freshmen. They are not veterans. They are not juniors and seniors with 3 years and 4 years of experience under their belt. That is 100% true.
Because even with the terrible O-line, Eric, if you have an electric runner, they can make your O-line look better. But I think the biggest part of the puzzle to our lack of running is teams are selling out, are crashing down, they're slanting their defensive ends inside because they know Julian will not run.
They
don't respect him.
Well, he's starting to pull it a couple times now. I think we're starting to see that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So there's definitely an opportunity here from this offensive coaching staff and plus T he tucked it and ran on 4th and short at least twice in that game, didn't he?
He can. He has shown that he can pick up quarterback sneaks. He's very effective at it.
So he can do it. I think he just needs to do it. If that makes sense. Like I don't think he's out here avoiding running. I think he's been told again by Ryan Day, we don't want you to get hurt, hand it off more times than not, but he does need to pull it on those RPOs a few more times to get the teams to respect him on it. And I think that will help out with opening up the running lanes as well, Tyler. I think you're right about that. There's a lot of different things we can do. And I think they're going to be working on those things, Tyler. I really do. I think that you're going to see this coaching staff really put the time in over the break here, over the bye week, to really address this running game on the offensive side. The offense is, outside of that, the offense has done really well. I think the offensive line has done a pretty good job at pass blocking, in all honesty, outside of, what we saw there against Wisconsin when Tager was playing Ole and just letting people run through the line. But for the most part this season, I think the offensive line has done a really good job at pass blocking. It's been the run blocking that's been kind of the issue here, and they need to address that absolutely, and I think they will. Now, how good of a change will it be? We're going to find out against Penn State, because whether we want to admit it or not, Penn State maybe hasn't lived up to the billing that we all expected. You don't think Jim Knowles isn't coming in here wanting to shut down this offense? I guarantee you he is.
Oh yeah, he wants to, because he knows that he left on with a sour taste in his mouth.
Yeah, he did.
So if I'm Jim Knowles going in this game, we already have nothing to lose at this point. We're already dead in the water. We're just like Wisconsin. We have nothing to play for. You're playing the defending champions at their place. We already have 4 losses. The only thing we got to play for in this game is to ruin the Buckeyes season.
Yeah, they're playing spoiler, bro. 100% that's what they want to do. They would want nothing more. That would make their season now. And their starting quarterback, the true freshman, is from right here in Delaware County, just north of Columbus. He grew up in the shadow of Ohio Stadium, wanted nothing more to be a Buckeye, never got that offer. He's got a chip on his shoulder, guys. This is going to be a huge game for him. Tyler, got a question for you, man. You're the athletic director at Penn State. Who you hiring and why?
I said originally Eli Drinkowitz there, but now like what you said yesterday, I've changed my mind.
Okay.
I've kind of liking the idea of killing Dillingham from Arizona State.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this much.
Before I got one more thing to say.
Okay, hit me up, man.
Thing.
Yep, go for it.
This defense has given up 41 points this year. Right? Do you know what? They've given up less points through 7 games than Georgia, than we did in 2007. When they had their fraud championship, and Bama in 2011 and us last year. We've given up less points than all those teams combined through 7 games. That's impressive.
It's very impressive. It's very, very impressive, and it's not being talked about and celebrated enough. So I appreciate you bringing it up, Tyler.
And that's my point, Eric. Why don't we talk about it enough?
a good question. I think it's because of I think people live on social media so much that they become very negative. They don't touch grass enough. They don't spend enough time thinking, looking up at the sky, you know, conversing with other people in real, sit down conversations, looking people eye to eye. And when you spend all your time online, you become a very pessimistic person because it's very negative. Um, I think that's why, just to be straight up honest with you. All right, Tyler, we got to go to the next phone call, buddy. Thanks for calling OH.
Io.
Good phone call, man. What's up, Shrockstar?
What's going on, my brother?
Man, it's a beautiful Monday night. It's a good night to be a Buckeye. You know, we're 7-0. We are 7-0, number 1 in the country. We need more positivity right now. Do you feel me?
Well, I tell you, I feel you, man. We should be, but I just don't think. I think people are scared to get complacent, you know. So I mean,
I get
so
that.
I think everybody,
But
you
I
know,
mean,
they don't want to
but
get too heavy.
yeah,
You
but
know.
Ryan Day, Sean, all year long has been talking about we need to get better. We're gonna, it was good, but it wasn't good enough. We got to get better. Like he's constantly pushing and prodding this team to get better. It's not like they're ignoring it. I said this in tomorrow's video. I'm going to say it right now, Sean. I want you to respond to this.
Okay.
Every single team in the Power 4 except for Ohio State, Indiana, BYU, who am I missing? That might be it. Has a
A&M.
Texas A&M, thank you. All of them have a flaw on the season so far. All of them have suffered a setback. All of them have stubbed their toe. And you mean to tell me that those other 3 teams that we just mentioned in Indiana and A&M and BYU played the schedule that Ohio State did? And opening up with Texas, going on the road to Washington, going on the road to Illinois, going on the road to Wisconsin in 3 out of 4 games? I don't think so. Yeah, Indiana's win at Oregon was impressive. A&M's win in South Bend was impressive. BYU's win over Utah was impressive. But I think Ohio State has looked much more impressive in their stretch of games than those other 3 teams. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, I don't think anybody can stop that defense we got right now. I mean, this is like an all-time level. This is the best defense I've seen since '96. I think it could even be better.
It looks like it is right now, man.
I mean, and you look at that freaky defense there in '96. I mean, last year's defense was a good one too. I mean, I think this is more when it's said and done. This will be the best defense in school history, and that's hard for me to say since the '96 team's one of my favorite teams. I mean, but I see it as I'm telling the truth. That defense is on a different level. They play with a chip on their shoulder. They play with anger. They got the right mix of guys. They got the guys that have got the experience. They got the veterans, and they got the younger guys that are hungry because they haven't had their shot, their chance to play yet. They want to make their mark on the program. And the great thing about this team is they told Ryan Day to put all the stuff that was hanging for the national championship away, put all that away because we didn't win. We're a new team. Not go live off of last year's team. We want to win our own. So I love that they're hungry like that. And I don't think he'll let them get complacent. At least that's my opinion.
I agree with you. I think there's no reason for Buckeye Nation to be in panic mode. and it's almost like I'm seeing people start to panic. And I think it's the pessimism in people. Um, I am highly offended by the people who are saying Brian Hartline's a terrible play caller. The dude is 7-0. He's only called plays for 7 games. He's got a perfect record. Has it been perfect as far as him calling the
No.
perfect play every time? No. And if you thought it was going to be, you're insane. It never was going to be absolutely perfect, but he's 7-0.
The only play call that last game that I really had a problem with was that 3rd and 5, and he ran the ball. But you know what? He thought he saw something. I mean, this is the guy's first time actually calling plays and he came out firing. I thought he called a pretty dang good game, except for maybe that play right there. Other than that, I know people felt he was getting a little predictable on the first and second downs, running the ball a lot. And not throwing
then
that
he comes
much,
out
so,
against Wisconsin.
I mean,
they're just slinging it all over the field.
well, I told people, Wisconsin's run defense is no joke, that we would have trouble running the ball up there. But their secondary is their weakness, and we needed to we needed to attack their secondary. Now, there's something I want to bring up, and I want to get your opinion on this, Eric, because not many people have said too much about this. The chat, if you guys want to chime in on it too. Do you think the struggles with the offensive line could be because, we don't have Justin Fry there anymore? We got a new coach in there. Could be new, scheme that just guys are jiving with. I think once they get Tager out of there and they put Padilla in, I think we'll see a lot, things will improve more. But what do you think about that with Fry not being there now and Bowen is? Do you think that's kind of set him back a little bit?
It's an interesting question. I haven't thought about that, Sean. Be honest with you. It might take some time to establish a different methodology, a different philosophy, a different way of going about things. So I guess I'm leaning to maybe. When Chris and I went to the practice, that's what I lean on a lot because I trust my own eyeballs. I saw them doing a lot of different blocking drills that I had never seen them do before. And I'm not saying that it's better or worse. I don't know. I think time will tell. I know this much. Tager Shabola regressed. And he wasn't the best to begin with. And he wasn't the best to begin with. So I think that's a really, really interesting point. And I think it's one that you guys need to explore. Because since you brought it up, I think we need to explore that. That's a really good point, Sean. Good on you, man.
I also noticed too that this line tends to struggle when we play against defensive lines that have the smaller, more athletic defensive linemen than the bigger guys. Because that guy from Wisconsin, I mean, he was destroying us, and he wasn't a big guy. He was just really athletic and quick. He was faster than, he was shooting gaps. Our guys weren't able to cut him off, and he was wrecking the game there for a while.
Yeah, he was. And Tyler in the chat brings up a really good point, Sean. Add this to your argument. He says maybe we missed Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's misdirection run scheme worked really well at times, especially in the playoffs, man.
Well, if you notice earlier this year, the counter they were running with Bo Jackson was one of their best run plays, and I didn't see it at all, on Saturday. And there is one thing I would like to bring up that I haven't heard many people mention either. Dan Pittman, the head coach of Arkansas, got fired. Mm-hmm. I would love for us to hire him I don't care if it's as an analyst or another assistant, since we're, allowed unlimited coaches. But he is one of the best offensive line coaches in college football. I know he didn't work out as a head coach at Arkansas, and you know what? Not many people do down there. But he still got contacts with, all the high school teams down there in the South that could help us with the recruiting. But the guy was Alabama's line coach for Saban when they were pumping out, a lot of offensive linemen to the NFL.
He
the guy knows
he was
his
the
stuff.
offensive line coach at Georgia. It was Georgia.
Oh, was he at Georgia?
Yeah, before Georgia, he was the offensive line coach at Arkansas, and before that at Tennessee. So those are and then Missouri in 2000, but that was back when Missouri was in the Big 12. So in the SEC, he coached at Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, before he became the head coach at Arkansas. And yes, he's an offensive line guy. He's been coaching offensive lines since 1991. It's what he's known for.
Dang. Yeah. I thought someone told me Alabama, so my bad.
Yeah, it was Georgia. I just looked it up real fast here, Georgia, because I didn't know, so I wanted to look it up to kind of get his history, his past. He also coached offensive line for Cincinnati, the Bearcats, in 1996. Coached and then went on to Oklahoma for 2 years. This guy he's been everywhere, man. He's been all over the place coaching offensive lines. Yeah, maybe that's a good point. It's a good point. Let me ask you this question real fast, not to change the subject on you, Sean, but I'm interested to get your take here, because in real time, while we're doing this call-in show, my video over at the College Huddle about Penn State, who they should hire, is blowing up as we speak. And I'm literally getting my phone is it's going bing, 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 bing. And I'm literally reading, I'm like scanning the comments. Penn State fans are screaming "not Matt Rule" at me. I mean, screaming it. How could you include him? No way. The name that scares me that they keep mentioning is Hartline. They keep mentioning Brian Hartline. The other name that I see a lot of fans mentioning is Eli Drinkwitz. That seems to be today's new name of popularity with Penn State fans. Who do you think they should hire? That is legitimately would consider going there. Don't tell me Urban Meyer. I've already argued with 3 of them that there's no way Shelley Meyer would let Urban go there. Don't tell me Nick Saban. There's no way Nick Saban's coming out of retirement to coach at Penn State. Like, who's...
How about Lou Holtz? I'm kidding.
What's left of that brain of Lou Holtz? Goodness sakes, Sean.
Lou Holtz doesn't even know where he's at right now.
I do for a joke want to do a live press conference where I'm Lou Holtz accepting the position. I think that would be hilarious. But I digress.
I think Rule does make the most sense just because of his connection there, and I know he's getting some flack for what he's doing. I still think he's a good coach. But I think you had a really good point of who they should hire is Kenny Dillingham. I think the guy's younger. He brings an edge. He brings excitement. He can lift the program up. But I can see them not going for him. I can see them trying to go with maybe a safer bet like a Matt Campbell. But I mean. And you also got to wonder, will they, I know it kind of ended bad with Franklin, but Franklin did help lift that program up to, where they were winning double digits constantly. But they go after the other Vanderbilt coach who's a hot young coach now and doing great stuff down there.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Dillingham is the youngest guy on this list. And he's got a conference championship under his belt, and he's coaching the college football playoff already. That's something none of those other
And
coaches can say.
he got screwed by the refs royally in that game against Texas.
Should have beat Texas. Yeah. Scadaboo's the real deal, though, dude. I mean, you just put the ball in that guy's hands and you say, go win me the football game. Like, he's the real
I'll
deal.
tell you what hurt him, though. What really hurt ASU that game is their 1,000-yard receiver, their stud receiver, was hurt. He didn't get to play in the game. I mean, they got a great quarterback. They had Scadaboo and they had that receiver, and that offense was on fire there for most of the year. And the kid got hurt like the week before, 2 weeks before, and he couldn't play in that game, and that took their passing away. So, but Scadaboo, he almost single-handedly carried that team to victory.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. All right, Sean, I gotta keep her moving here tonight, buddy. Any last thoughts, man?
All right. Do you think James Franklin goes to Florida?
My first initial thought was that's where he should go. Not as high expectations. He gets them back to a college football playoff. They are excited as could be. But John Kennedy gave me a really good idea too. He said, what about he goes to UCLA? And I thought, ooh, I hadn't thought about that yet. The team that started the spiral of him getting fired is the one that actually hires him.
You know what, though? I think they might stick with that guy with what he's doing right now.
It's pretty impressive right so far, isn't it?
I mean, my gosh, they should have had him, and they should have had freaking Neuheisel's kid calling the plays the whole year.
Yeah. Kennedy said, if I'm James Franklin, I take UCLA and I keep the Neuheisel offensive coordinator, and I start to rebuild that program. All right, Sean, I got to keep her moving, man. I got a full bank of calls.
Brother.
Yep, you're welcome. OH.
All right. I.O., brother. Scum still sucks. Go Bucks.
All right, we're keeping her moving tonight. What's up, Jar?
Hello?
Hello, Jar. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Podfather?
Man, I'm just living the dream tonight, son. Living the dream.
Oh, that's right. Whose dream is it? You figured that one out yet?
What was that, buddy?
I was saying, whose dream is it? You figured that one out yet?
Well, hopefully my wife's happy. I hope.
I ask everybody that question when they tell me they live in a dream. I ask them, whose dream is
it? Well, hopefully my wife's happy. I'll put it to you that way, son. What about you, brother? How you doing with this season so far? We're 7-0. We're going into the bye week before Penn State. We're number 1 in the country. How you feeling?
I mean, as a Buckeye fan, you couldn't really ask for more. Like, I'm feeling great. A great day to be a Buckeye fan. I'm glad that Ohio State is slowly starting to get that Nick Saban Alabama recognition as that powerhouse team. I remember years ago when we were watching college football and Nick Saban and Alabama was on top and everybody loved them. But not only did they love them, they did it because that Nick Saban had a powerful team. Remember, I told you the last time I called in, this is Ryan Day's Nick Saban year. He just has to keep it going.
Yeah.
Because if he pulls it off and gets back to back, nobody's talking about Kirby no more. It'll be him.
Oh yeah, 100%. In fact, it's really funny because when people mention the best coaches in college football right now, they all say Kirby Smart and Ryan Day. Dabo Swinney's fallen off in that argument. He's not mentioned anymore. If Ryan Day wins this year, I think that's the first name people go to. They don't go to Kirby Smart, then Ryan Day. I think they go Ryan Day, then Kirby Smart.
They're not going to have a choice. Especially if we continue the way that we're doing. If this defense continues to dominate the way that they are, I mean, who's going to touch it?
That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
That's the question I have every week when I sit and watch other teams besides Ohio State. Which one of these teams is really going to be able to give us challenge?
I thought it was Miami, and then I watched them lay an egg Friday night against an unranked Louisville team. Shout out Jeff Brom. That's his 4th time He's 4-0 all time as an unranked team against top 5 opponents. That's incredible.
I said, I made a post after that game that Jeff Brom is the top 5 killer. And us Buckeye fans we know him pretty well.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
in fact, that list of him being 4-0 against top 5 teams when he's unranked, the first time he did that was in Purdue against Urban Meyer, and we all remember that one. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yep, the Rondell Moore show.
yeah.
I
So
remember it well.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah. All right, brother. Do I remember that right? Were you at the Illinois game?
I was.
What'd you think about it, man?
Loved it. Felt so good to be able to finally see the boys because I hadn't seen them since the last time they came to Champaign. So that was 10 years ago here.
Mm-hmm.
I had won my first game in the shoe was the following season. That was when Saquon Barkley returned that kick on us, and we had to come back and beat them. That was my first time ever being in the shoe, so that was just great. But
yeah,
it was a good game.
I was at that game. I was at that game as well.
Oh,
yeah, that was the
nice.
game when we wore the alternate jerseys. Yeah, the gray ones. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the game JT Barrett led the comeback in?
Yep. He lost his mind. Then we went up the next week to Iowa and got killed.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though.
So.
That was a bad game, man.
It is crazy because I had called it. I was me and my dad were leaving the stadium. We were leaving the stadium. We were going back to his house, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't feel good about that game next week in Iowa. I don't know why, but I guess I had a premonition early."
I guess you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
no joke, brother. All right, so it was a good game in Illinois. You got to watch
Yes,
that
it
one,
was.
my man. All right. What do you think about Brian Hartline? There's a lot of people right now who are dogging him as a play caller. What are your thoughts?
How can you dog a guy that's undefeated in his job?
That's what I'm saying.
And considering the fact that Ohio State is the most complete team, what is it? We done scored like 200 and something points to like 40 something. So when you look at it from that perspective, he's doing his job. And I think that anything Ohio State related, whether it be a coach, whether it be a player, anything that has Ohio State's name tied to it, they're going to hate on it some type of way. They just refuse to give us the props that we truly deserve. And we've been the number one team since week 2.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you got people that make they prediction videos and things of that nature, what's going to happen in college football this week, they'll never put Ohio State where they're supposed to be. They'll agree that the AP has it right as them being the number one team in the country, but them themselves, nah, they'll pick somebody else. Before last week, it was Miami. Miami's the only team that could touch Ohio State. Really?
Yeah. Well, Miami's in trouble. Miami's in trouble of not making college football playoff now. They're gonna have to win out. Hear me out. You have Virginia with one loss in the ACC, and they're in the driver's seat. You now have Louisville with only one loss in the ACC.
You got the head-to-head over Miami.
And they now have the head-to-head over Miami. You got it. And their one loss happened to be in overtime to Virginia. So all of a sudden, Miami's behind both those teams. Miami has to win out to guarantee their spot. If they go 10-2 and they lose again, there's no guarantee that the College Football Playoff Committee is going to put them in over a Louisville or Virginia at this point. So Miami better be very careful with the rest of their season. And I'll say this too: they go 11-1, and Notre Dame goes 10-2. I'm not so sure, even though they have the win over Notre Dame, that this committee doesn't look at that and say, you know what, you barely beat them at home, and Notre Dame's better now than you are. I mean, that's crazier things have happened. Just saying.
Yeah, it's gonna the way that the season is playing out so far. It's gonna be really interesting when Selection Sunday comes. Even more so when the college football playoff rankings come out. Like I'm really interested to see how they're gonna line these teams up. We just have to keep winning. I don't think we'll move. But from everybody up under us, that's gonna be real interesting to see how that shakes out. Can't wait to see that happen. Couple of weeks here. And Penn State is next on the menu. I'm not putting nothing past them, even though they've dropped 4 games straight and got a new coach and quarterback and things of that nature. They got a defensive coordinator that left with a bad taste in his mouth when he was here. So I don't think Jim Knowles will want nothing more than to spoil the season to the best of his ability. But the only problem with that is I don't think that those players have grasped onto his defensive scheme yet.
They
Because
haven't.
we know that it takes time for Jim Knowles to install his defense. He needs at least 2 or 3 seasons to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not working in year one. You lost to Northwestern, you lost to UCLA, and you just lost this past weekend to who the heck was it? Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know how much he'll be able to do with what he has because I don't even know if his kids get it yet. Or I don't even know if they care anymore because their season is shot.
I think they're going to care about this next one. I feel like they're going to care about this next one.
Yeah, Ohio State is everybody's national championship.
Exactly. That's yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to care about this next one. So we'll see. We'll see, Jar, what happens in 2 weeks. Let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you two. I got 2 more questions for you. What about this offensive line and running game? Are you concerned?
Tegler needs to sit. No, I
Okay.
take that back. No, I don't take that back. He needs to sit, and he still needs some work. I don't know what it is that they're going to do during this bye week, but that running game is the one thing that needs to be shored up. That and special teams. I don't know what they're going to do with special teams. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it is.
But they got to get this running game together. I saw that this past week when we played against Wisconsin, we had the kid Isaiah Weston there. Him along with Padilla on the line. You had some splash plays. You know, he had the longest run of the game, which I think was for 15 yards. So that has to happen. It's just a matter of you're gonna have to maybe put Tegler down to maybe the postseason. Let it be what it be. At one point in time, I was under the impression that Bo Jackson was lighting a fire up under James Peoples behind. The same thing needs to work for offensive line play. Another man that came in and took your spot because you clearly ain't been doing it, so maybe that should be some motivation.
Good point.
That's the one thing I feel they need to show up because it's getting colder, and when it get cold outside, you need to be able to run that ball. You might not always have the best conditions for Sam back there to be slinging a rock all around the yard. You might not be able to do that. You're gonna need to be able to push it. The left side of the line is cool, but that right side, they got to get that together.
I hear you, man. I agree with you. One final question. You're the athletic director of Penn State. Who are you legitimately hiring? Don't tell me Nick Saban or Urban Meyer. That ain't happening.
Matt Campbell.
Matt Campbell. Why?
Here from Iowa State. He does well where he's at, and with the play, like Idaho State being location, NIL is not as much, but he still recruits well and gets talent up there, and those kids are still able to go out there and win games. You take that formula to a place like Penn State, they got a whole lot of money to kick around for NIL and get recruits. He'll be able to put together a good team, and it'll be a fresh start for that athletic department. Totally. You had the older guy in Franklin. He's been there for 10 plus years, but he was Mark Richt. That's who James Franklin was. James Franklin was the Mark Richt of Penn State. Now that you got him out the way, you got to get some younger blood in there because it's showing that the younger coaches is getting it done. I mean, Ryan Day, he's a young coach, and look at him. So I think that's the way that they need to go.
All right, Jar
Young
man.
cat in there.
Sounds good, brother. I appreciate the phone call. I got to keep her moving tonight, my friend. Thank you so much for calling in.
All righty.
Good to talk to you, brother.
No
OH.
problem. Ayo.
I had to turn my volume up a little bit, make sure we could hear him. I think we're going to hear our next caller just fine. He's my good buddy. He's also my co-host now on those live shows. What's up, Bart?
How we doing, Eric?
It's good for a Monday. How about you?
Hey, that previous caller, I'm not sure whose dream I am living in, but I enjoy it. So,
Well, he asked me, and I said, well, hopefully it's my wife's.
well, and I do know for a fact that she is very happy. And as you know, fat guys are incredible lovers. So our wives are very, very happy. What do you think about that?
I think you're dead on. I think you're spitting truth, brother.
I know it. These skinny guys out there, no idea. But we've got, it's right there. That's why me and you have hot wives. So that's where it is.
Man, I had so much fun Saturday night with you and Chris calling that USC Notre Dame game. We need to do it again, brother.
Well, and that's the reason I was calling in. It's for the people who is tuning into this and listening to you. Please tune in. I watched my first live game on Patreon, and if they aren't subscribers yet, please do, because I watched that game with you guys. I had my volume turned off, and it was so much better than listening to the rambling idiots on TV. And the insights, just the interaction with the chat. I think everybody should be, I became a member, and there's such great content. If they didn't believe what you talk and what you know about Ohio State and everything, they wouldn't tune into this call-in show to begin with. But they really need to, because it was just an awesome experience. And then I got to co-host the Notre Dame USC game, and I didn't think I'd ever watch a full Notre Dame game unless they were getting beat. But I did. I very, very much enjoyed it. And I just wanted to call in and encourage everybody to tune in to the Patreon and become a member and watch those games live.
Thank you. I appreciate the shout out there, Bart. Yeah, it's a really cool experience. It's something really neat that we're doing. I will say this: it's I'm sure somebody eventually is going to try to copy it, but we're the first ones. Like a lot of things that you find us doing, we're the first ones that do it. We're always trying to be innovative and trying to be cutting edge and provide more value for everybody. I was looking at everybody else's cost, Bart, on what it costs to join just their message boards. That's it. Just their message boards. The lowest I could find was $12.99. For $5 on our Patreon page, you're going to get the message boards. That includes Buck Vader's inside scoop information, man. So
and I love those. I read those, and they're great. He's a great writer, very knowledgeable. And
So there's that, and then like you said, the live game watches are where it's at, man. That's a lot of fun. So not to mention,
and
we break down the recruiting too. We're breaking down recruiting over there, watching everybody's highlight videos and stuff too.
Yeah, and I've been, as you know, I've been a member for Buckeye Scoop for, I don't know, 15 years. And that's up to over $100, $125. And you just don't get the interaction. They have, some good insiders, but they're becoming less and less. And so I'm actually, I've completely switched. Once that comes up a renewal, I'm not renewing it. I'm coming everything over to the Hyde podcast, and my dad is too. And I think that's where it's at. They get to talk to you. They get to see everybody else. I just think it's a great experience of what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. A lot of people don't know, but Buck Vader was an insider over there. Just so you all.
Yeah, well, I could tell. Yeah, he has great insight, and that's just one of the things that you bring. Other than your great personality, inside information.
And dashing good looks.
Well, and if anybody watched the game, the UFC Nordic game, you can sing too. That's undeniable.
Well,
and if anybody says that, then they're lying.
when you listen to things like Ace of Base, you're going to pick up those, little intricate things about singing, that you need if you're going to be
All she wants is another baby. That's all. I mean, that's all she's wanting. That's what it is. So.
I was thinking more on the lines of "I Saw the Sign," but a little lesser known hit was "All That She Wants Is Another Baby." Yes, I mean.
Well, sorry about that. Now, I guess back to High State a little bit. I guess what I'm encouraged in my thought is the running game. It is what it is. I think what he proved against Wisconsin, we could throw the ball. And I really truly believe there is not a team out there that if we throw the ball, 75% of the time they're going to stop us. We've got one of the I would have to say one of the, if not the best accurate passer we've ever had at High State, and could it be a trio or I guess with your buddy Mylan Graham and Porter coming. One of the best collections of receivers, obviously in the country right now, but it could be one of the top three sets of receivers that High State's ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's no stopping in sight too, because Chris Henry Jr., his teammate, who's a borderline 5-star as well, is coming along. There's no.
You got Jameer Brown's coming.
He's 2 years out from that. I'm not even talking. That's 2026. Yeah. He's 2027. I mean.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, you see where they got his the NIL temporarily approved today.
I did, and I haven't dug. I saw the article. I haven't dug into it yet. I did see the article that was written about that it was approved. I have mixed feelings about it, Bart, to be honest with you. I don't know if high school kids, if we're going to go down that path now, what kind of Pandora's box we're opening. But
I don't like it.
My stepson has an NIL. Kinda.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Kinda.
He threw 3 touchdown passes the other day. So of course
he did. But yeah, so he's a part of the mouth guard that I promote on this channel. Yep. And he's connected to them, and so they're invested in him, and he's gonna get some training paid for because my uncle or my brother, his uncle, owns the company, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna put this mouth guard in your face, and you're gonna be one of my spokespersons one day, and so I need you to be good. So here you go." So, I mean, it's the world we live in.
Once you tell your relative that once you tell your relative there, if they pay me, I'll wear that freaking mouth guard anywhere they want me to.
Do you think you could do it at? Well, I better be careful how I say this here because I don't want to reveal who you are. But maybe you can wear that mouth guard at one of your public meetings, maybe.
They might understand me a little bit better, but I'll tell you what, Eric, there's no way I could wear a mouth guard.
No.
And this might sound bad and might give up my, I put those things in and I choke. I have to cut those things down, the ends of them, because they go back so far off in your back teeth.
Uh-huh.
That I have to cut them down because I have that gag reflex. And so when I had it, mine was freaking small because I kept on gagging. And I knew some other players like that, and there's no way I could wear one.
Well, I'll tell you this mouth guard is fit perfectly to your teeth. It's one of the most unique things that they have. Bart,
now, do Do they still put it in boiling water and
No.
shape it and then put
Nope.
it in your mouth?
So you get
Oh,
a
really?
mold.
They don't.
Yeah. You get a mold, or you go to your dentist who uses those wands that takes a 3D image of your mouth and your teeth, and then the thing is literally 3D printed to fit perfectly in your mouth and in your teeth. It's pretty awesome how it's done.
No way.
Yeah, it's really neat, and you can
That's
actually
really
talk.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so as a quarterback, you know how quarterbacks are always taking it out and putting it up on their face mask so that they can give the
Yeah,
call or whatever.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
you don't have to do that with these. You can actually talk. It's really cool. Bart, you're the
I
athletic
wonder if I can
director.
get.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I wonder if I can get grills on the front of mine if I get some.
You probably could get some gold. Yeah, absolutely.
That would actually give me a little street cred, I think. So.
It might, yeah. The mean streets of Mount Gilead, brother. You're the athletic director at Penn State. Who you hiring?
Well, I'm going to give you somebody that not mentioned very much.
Okay.
What about Chip Kelly?
Doesn't like to recruit.
He wanted to be a coach last year. He reinvigorated himself. He went to Oakland, and they didn't score a point yesterday. And knowing this region and how well he did, why wouldn't he want to get back in college coaching? And why wouldn't Penn State want to just give everything they have? Because they went against Ohio State and they couldn't stop him.
UCLA was a train wreck. He gave up on that program. He doesn't want to recruit. He just wants to coach offense. So let's say the experiment at with the Raiders ends. I could see him coming back as an offensive coordinator for somebody, but I don't know about head coach.
Well, you give him the reins. To what offensive player wouldn't want to play for him?
That's a good question. I mean, it'd be very interesting. It'd be really interesting because Ryan Day and Chip are so good friends, and now all of a sudden they're rivals. I mean, that would be very, very interesting.
We thought that Knowles and Ryan Day were decent friends until everything happened in the last year. So
that ain't the case, is it? No joke.
No, it's not.
All right.
And you know what? One other thing is I saw that AJ Hawk is going up. He's going to be he's going up for the class of 2026 of the NFL Hall of Fame. Do you remember that he was a 3-star back in the day, and just basically a local kid, Centerville, that they kind of took a flyer on, and how great he turned out to be? I didn't think he was that great of a NFL. I think he was, above average. But man, he was freaking good for Ohio State.
He was. I feel like he led the Packers for a long time, didn't he? In tackles.
Well, I don't know how hard that would have been, but yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying he was a good NFL. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy or not.
Well, I know Mangold.
Yeah.
Mangold needs to be a Hall of Famer. He was the best center in the NFL for a better part of a decade. Mangold should be a Hall of Famer. I don't know about AJ Hawk. That's a good question. If I'm not mistaken, James Laurinaitis is the all-time leading tackler for the Rams.
Is he really? I would have never guessed that.
I think so. It's either that or AJ Hawk's all-time leading tackler for the Packers. One of the two. I got to look it up now.
Well, and one other thing before I go is you're going to be obviously talking to Chris tonight. You have an agenda you have to talk to him for. So I need you to tell him thank you for me, that he was a great co-host, and I can't wait to talk to him again and do another game. So
perfect. I'll let him know. And yes, James Laurinaitis is the all-time leading tackler for the Rams organization. From 2009 to 2015, he had 655 tackles.
Oh my gosh, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
The son of the Legion of Doom.
Yep. Crazy.
Okay, Eric. Well, you have a wonderful night, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks. That's my good buddy Bart, and was my partner in crime last show for the Notre Dame USC game, Chris and I. We had a lot of fun. All right. What's up, Rocky?
Well. Here we are again. How you doing, Chris?
Well, Chris.
I mean, oh my God. Holy crap. No wonder why it's been put off there for a delayed amount of time. Wow. My fault, man. I'm sorry, Eric.
It's all good, brother. Don't worry about it, man. It's all good. For the longest time, I called Sean Tyler and Tyler Sean. I couldn't stop doing it. How you doing tonight, Rocky? Doing well, buddy?
Yeah, I'm out here doing work. I was doing a tour, hitting up buildings and listening to the show and waiting for my spot, and get this out of the way because I do like to talk about, a couple of things. And, tell you what, when you walk around, it kind of drains you a little bit. You don't have the amount of energy as you did when you first started. You know what I mean? Like I started when you guys went on air. So I'm a little sore right now, but overall doing pretty good. I like to see Ohio State doing this dominant offensive, show of force, defense show of force, and the defense. I'm telling you, I've been saying this from the very beginning. The defense, the reason why the transition went very smooth and they're just so darn dominant is because Matt Patricia structures this defense so comprehensively that it's just like an NFL style defense in college, and it's just the transition is going to be easy. It was easy for them from Knowles to Matty P, and what's even more better is that because of that right there, that dynamic is so marketable. It's much more attractive for people to be like, hey, look, if you want to go to the NFL, come to Ohio State. We got a pro style defensive coordinator that will get you ready for that next level. You're guaranteed to get drafted if you work hard enough, and we'll get you there. I mean, like sky's the limit. And what's really interesting is that we have the best scoring defense. Like, we only allow 6.5 points per game, and one behind us is Texas. And the only team I see being a threat, and I know a lot of people are talking about, like, oh, I ain't worrying about Indiana. Well, don't sleep on Indiana, brother. What was it? Fernando Mendoza is the front runner of the Heisman right now. Get this. So the quarterback at Indiana, I was doing some research looking up stats, and I found out that he has a twin brother named Alberto Mendoza. And guess where they're from? They're from Miami, from Christopher Columbus High School in Miami. And guess where those two brothers are at? They're at Indiana. So they're going to be a big freaking problem in the future, as long as Curt Cignetti is there. Fernando started at Cal 2 years. He goes to Indiana. He's in the front runner of the Heisman. And his little twin brother, freshman, Alberto, I mean, like, Indiana is just stacked right now in the quarterback room. They are a threat right now. I've seen them. I looked at their stats and on paper, they're like pretty much like a Texas Tech up in the Midwest when you're looking at on paper in terms of how they're looking with what they can do on the field. I know some Buckeye fans out there is going to groan at that, but when you look at the stats and then you look at the performance against Illinois. And you're looking at their performance against Oregon, and Oregon ain't no joke. First year Big Ten champs. That's got to count for something. Indiana is going to be a big problem. At the same time, on the other side of the football here, Indiana has not played a team like Ohio State. Only team that comes close to Ohio State is Oregon. But the thing is that Oregon don't have a top 10 defense. I need to go look at it again, but the Oregon's defense is nowhere near on the level of Ohio State defense. So what's going to happen is, what I'm noticing is that with all the Heisman Trophy, with all the Heisman Trophy candidates, we're talking about like Marcel Reed, Texas A&M, and Ty Robinson, or was it Ty Simpson over at Alabama, Julian Sain, Ohio State. He's in the Heisman right now, in the Heisman race. More over at Oregon. Of course, we know Fernando. What's going to happen is that I think this year the Heisman Trophy is going to be determined by the conference champion and who looks the best. Eye appeal. You got Georgia and Alabama. Gunnar Stockton is also in the Heisman race. Georgia and Alabama are looking like they're going to be on two freight trains colliding at the SEC championship. And at the moment, should Ohio State and Indiana go undefeated for the rest of the season, you got those two freight trains in the Midwest, Ohio State and Indiana, for the Big Ten championship. And then it all depends of how well those teams are going to perform. That gives the ability for the quarterback to excel, so they can pad up their stats, so they can bring that Heisman Trophy winner back at home to their football team. It's going to be very interesting the last 2 weeks of college football. The last 2 weeks absolutely going to determine who's going to win the Heisman. And I think it's going to go to the Midwest this year because of the fact that we're stronger, we're better, we're more in tune with the modern day. SEC still prominent conference, but they're still behind the curve of the college football landscape. I don't think that Alabama or even Georgia or even Texas A&M, Marcel Reed, I think that's a quarterback thing. But anyways, I don't think that the SEC, the way how they compete, is going to allow somebody to excel to have that eye appeal to win the Heisman. I think it's going to the Midwest. It's going to be Ohio State or it's going to be Indiana. What are your thoughts, Eric?
That's a really interesting take, Rocky. I hadn't thought of that, but you know what? When you said that, my eyes went, when you said the SEC is kind of behind the Midwest in modern football. I think you're right about that because I started thinking about that and I think he's right. That is a really good take.
Well, I've been saying this for a while now, because the question now, okay, so I'm not sure it was during the off season, but I said it at one point that, the days of the super stacked rosters where the second string and the third string are still the first strings. It's just next man up, like the super stacked rosters at Georgia of old and Alabama of old. I said those days are gone. Not so fast, my friend. It looks like Ryan Day in Ohio State and that program cracked the code. And to a lesser extent, I think Kirk Cinetti is utilizing the modern landscape because his transfers are always, or he never misses. Like I give Kirk Cinetti a lot of credit. I actually praise him. He talks a lot of smack, but he does it because he needs to set a tone for the locker room that we are here to win. We're Indiana. Who's your mama? Who's your daddy? That's who we are. Like that. He's trying to set a culture, a lead for his players, so they have something to believe in. That's why they play hard. That's why Kirk Cinetti runs his mouth, and I respect it. If you back it up, I ain't saying nothing. But if you talk a lot and then you fall short like Dabo Swinney, you're looking like a doggone fool.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And your call out on the Mendoza brothers, good call on that. I had heard about that. That's really interesting. Signetti runs a very interesting offense, and it's very explosive. I'm really intrigued to find out how explosive it can be against our defense, though. And I'm kind of hoping that it is an Ohio State versus Indiana Big Ten championship game because I really want to see that matchup. Which is the other part of me would love to see Ohio State Oregon because I just think that that's a great blossoming a new rivalry in the conference. Maybe we'll get to play them in the college football playoff. But yeah, I think a lot of what you said there is absolutely correct. And the more explosive offenses, the more dare I say creative offenses are definitely in the Midwest. They're definitely in the Big Ten and the northern schools, which is incredible to think about because we're also the quote unquote cold weather schools. But all of that's really intriguing. I got to get your take on this, Rocky. Who do you think should be the next Penn State coach? Speaking of,
Mike Grundy from Oklahoma State. Why? It's because right now at the point of time in the state, even though Penn State's on a downturn, they still got talent. They still got a football team. They're just discombobulated. When you get one figurehead out that built that program, look what happened to us about 14 years ago. Jim Strauss and Luke Fickell came in, and then next year, Meyer, we go undefeated. And in my opinion, I think that we ought to claim that national championship game in 2012 because of the fact of how bad we got snuffed that year. We would have beaten Notre Dame in the BCS championship, not Alabama. I think we should claim that as our 10th national championship. We were dominant on all fronts. We were undefeated. We beat Michigan decisively. We didn't have a postseason because we got a bowl ban. And there's teams out there that did more than what we did in Tattoo Gate and never got caught, like Cam Newton. why Cam Newton get paid by the Auburn boosters $90,000 in their bank account. They turn the blind eye. Like that still doesn't sit right with me by the end of the day. Like, it shows you that there is a high level of SEC bias then, but that's a different topic, different story. But going back on it, I would say that with the current state of Penn State and how that program is, I would say Mike Grundy will be a really good pick. And the reason and the icing on the cake of that pick would be is because he's already worked with Jim Knowles, and they appear to have really good chemistry. And Jim Knowles left Oklahoma State is because Ohio State has more resources. We have a better program, and we have a lot of effing money to throw at people who really, really want them. So I think that would be a really good choice. I understand that Mike Grundy was the almost coach, but he has more experience than Franklin in terms of playing at a higher level. Don't forget, Franklin has only been with Penn State for about 14 years from Vandy, and he won at Vandy, but he only consistently was at 9-4 at Vandy all years except for his first year. But Mike Grundy, I would say that that's the perfect pick for that reason. He'll slide right in real good, get that football team back on a 10-win season. No, you may not win championships, but you're guaranteed to still be in the hunt every year, and you might have a better chance. You may have a better chance of reversing the narrative that Penn State cannot beat ranked opponents, because that's the only thing that's haunted them. The only 2 ones I can think of that Penn State beat, I know it's 3 or 4, but he beat us, back in 16, and then Michigan at 19. But Franklin, unfortunately, they want to move to a different direction. But that's where my outlook would be. I'll go after Mike Grundy. Matt Campbell ain't going anywhere. I don't think it wouldn't make any sense why he would leave a conference that he's dominating and go to a different conference. And you already seen a lot of coaches make moves to a different school and they just flop. The grass isn't greener. Like, great example, Luke Fickell is a great example. I wouldn't go after the old people, leave the old people alone, let them retire. Urban Meyer, that would be a stupid idea because he has health problems. As soon as he gets stressed, he's had heart attacks. It's a stupid idea. And Golish, I wouldn't go after him. Let him be, because he's still got to develop. He's still got to prove something. Arizona State, I don't see a tactical reason why Penn State would go after those guys. I will go after Mike Grundy. That's who I would pick.
You bring up Gundy's relationship with Jim Knowles in the past. That's an interesting take on that, Rocky. I hadn't make that connection before. That's an interesting one, buddy. All right, I got to keep it moving. I got one more phone call to get to. I appreciate the phone call tonight, my friend, and I appreciate your support over on Patreon, my buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Great show, and you all take it easy. I'll see you guys next time, Eric. Thank you.
Sounds good. OH.
IO.
That was Rocky. RK Mangoes, everybody. All right, we're going to end this show with the living legend. What's going on, Ray?
Well, Eric, I was out getting something to eat. I didn't get home till late. I had trouble getting in there tonight.
Busy place tonight, Ray. We were busy place tonight, my man.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you, though, I watched the Bullies beat Washington up. I was very, very, very disappointed with Washington. I thought that quarterback was a lot better than he was. He threw 2 interceptions, and the Bullies had no turnovers again.
Yep.
Eric, I want you to look something up for me, investigate, okay?
Sure.
If you can't do it tonight. The last 4 years, I've watched the Bullies. And as bad as they cheat and lie, they never turn the ball over. For 4 years, I think they're leading the nation in the fewest turnovers in a season. I can't believe it. Their running backs never fumble the ball. The only two turnovers they had this year were those 2 interceptions against Southern Cal. Southern Cal had a great game plan. They played half run, passing. I'm worried about you guys when you come up to Ann Arbor. I really am, because I remember when you had Cooper there. You were favored 4 or 5 times up there, and every time you get beat. One time you were favored by 10, 15 points, and you lost 28-0. I'm worried about if it's snowing or if it's cold. I know he's been a great quarterback all year, 80%. But we're talking about another month, and now that the temperature's getting in the 50s. It may be in the 10s or the 20s when you go up there, and the wind's blowing. And I know you got a great passing attack, but that's the bullies are good at covering receivers. They're all over these receivers of Washington last week. Am I wrong about thinking about this, that our running attack don't get better, that we could be in trouble?
No, you're not wrong. It's definitely on the forefront of everybody's mind as they talk about this team and the weaknesses that we apparently have. We've all talked about it. Last night we talked about it on the Sunday Night Roundtable show. We have to get better at running the football, and it starts up front. It's an emphasis. Yeah. It was an emphasis this offseason. It was an emphasis last year. Obviously, in the playoffs, outside of the game against Tennessee, all three of those next games were all in domes or in warm weather, where the cold weather wasn't an issue. It's a mentality, Ray. It is absolutely a mentality.
I know.
And you have to have that mentality. And at times it doesn't seem like we have it still. Now, your point about not turning the football over, that is a very, very good point. Michigan doesn't beat themselves.
No.
You have to beat them. You have to go out there and you have to beat them. And you brought up a great point. USC did that to them. USC won that game because they won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
Yep.
Ohio State's going to have to do that. You're right. But I'll put this. I'll say this to you, Ray, and this is a saying I came up with a couple years ago, and it stuck. Michigan is designed to beat Ohio State. Ohio State is designed to win national championships, and that has been proven to be true year in and year out. Ohio State has a better chance of winning a national championship than Michigan does, but Michigan's built to beat Ohio State, and especially in cold weather.
Well, the bullies, over all the years I've known them, when I was up there as an usher, 18 years, they were always a lot better at home, which most teams are better at home than they were on the road. They'd always lose 3 or 4 games on the road, but they'd always win all their home games just about. Even when you guys come up there 4 or 5 times, I couldn't believe that some of the games that you get shut out 28-0 and you be favored. Or a couple other times, 96, I was up there, me and my son, when we upset you guys out of a national title. That was the only time I really remember really playing great on the road. And that was you had a great defense there. I think you only lost like 13-9 or something like that. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah. I do.
And your one defensive back slipped and he went for a touchdown.
Yep.
I know I'm going way back in history now because I'm 76, but I remember all that stuff, and I just don't want to see this happen again. I'm a little bit worried about the running attack, which I know you guys are concerned about it too. The one back, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
He looks like he's your best back, but have you had any explosive runs this year, 40, 50-yard runs?
Yeah, we've had some, but they were earlier against lesser opponents. I think they had a couple against Grambling. They had one against Ohio. A lot of teams are playing 3 high safety looks on us. They're keeping everything in front. And just the offensive line is just not winning the line of scrimmage well enough. They're not getting to the second level and really giving our running backs the opportunity to really bust one off, to be honest with you, Ray.
Yeah. Do you remember that Colvin deal back in 20?
The COVID. Yeah, I remember that.
When Wisconsin went up there, Penn State, and beat them. But it was an empty stadium.
Right.
It was an empty stadium. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Since then, I don't think they've hardly lost any home games at all in the last. We know it was cheating too,
right?
Some of that, but still, you're going to have 110,000 people against you. And I'm not saying Sainz isn't a great quarterback, because I think he is, and I think our defense is great. But I've seen a lot of suspicious things happen up there that you just don't figure out. A referee call, or the wind's blowing like crazy. I've been up there a lot of times when the wind was swirling 40, 50 miles an hour. I'm not trying to worry all of our fans, but
The last
I do
time
remember all
the
that
last
stuff.
time Michigan lost at home was last year when Oregon beat them at home.
You're right, right.
Yeah, Oregon beat them 38
But
to 17 last year in their house.
yeah, I remember those. But would you investigate for me? I want to know, since the cheating happened from 21 till this year, how many times they've turned the ball over. I bet it ain't been very many. I don't remember. I remember when they played Georgia, they had a fumble by Corbin one time in the playoff when they got killed. But it seems like the only turnovers they ever get are interceptions. They don't hardly ever fumble the ball. You'd think they would have had a 4 or 5 turnover a game, and I don't remember them in the last 4 or 5 years having that.
I'll have to look into it. It would take me some time to figure that
Yeah.
out, Ray. But
Yeah, look it up. And give me maybe a next Monday. We'll go over it. Okay.
yeah, let me write that down. Turnovers, Michigan turnovers since
From
2021.
21 to 25.
Okay, I wrote it down, Ray. I'll look into it, buddy.
Okay, they lost to Oklahoma, and they had no turnovers in that game.
Yeah.
And in Southern Cal, they didn't get a turnover until that quarterback threw an interception, and their backup threw an interception. So it was 2-2 in that one. But the last 4 years, it's unbelievable that those backs, even when they get drilled, they hang on the ball. It's like I told you, it feels like they have glue on the football.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're doing it.
It's definitely something of an emphasis for them.
That kind of worries me, because we went up there 2 or 3 times there, and we had a passing attack, didn't really have a running attack. And they were all over our receivers, and we couldn't get anything going. I mean, I just don't want that to happen again. So maybe I'm just an old senile man, but I just don't want us to lose that game again this year. So I hope we can find a way to go up there and put a whipping on them.
Me too, brother. Me too. It's definitely what I want to see happen, Ray, man. I need it like I need oxygen. I need this win in the worst way, brother.
No, I don't think I can put up with another year of that.
I know. You and me both,
And,
man. You've been watching.
They do have to play at Northwestern, and Northwestern don't look like too bad a team. And then they have to play at Maryland, and they fell on apart. 3 games in a row they've lost in the last fourth quarter, late in the game. And Michigan State, oh my goodness, they're looking so terrible.
They're terrible.
I'm afraid State's going to get killed by 40 points this week.
They might. It might get ugly. It might get
ugly.
It
may get ugly in that game. State always seems to rally around. Maybe they'll find somebody to make it a game. We'll see.
Yep. Appreciate the phone call, Ray, buddy. Hey,
I really do like the passing attack was super again this week. The only thing concerns me is I just don't know how the weather's going to be. We get all the way down to the end of November. It could be nice, but it could be snowy or cold, windy. So all them things go into factors in a game like that.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting. The weather will definitely play a part of that, no doubt. All right, Ray, I gotta go.
You still having a Bible verse?
Yes, I was going to tell you. Go check out the morning videos, dude. There's a Bible verse at the end of every video, brother.
All right. God bless you. Keep up the good work. Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
I'll pray for your family. You pray for mine.
Will do.
OH.
IO. There was Ray, the living legend, everybody. All right. Let me wrap this up real fast. Been a good show tonight. Appreciate everybody who took the time to call in this evening. Make sure you go check out our Patreon if you haven't already. We really do appreciate it if you would do that. Tomorrow there'll be another video out here for you tomorrow morning, so go check that out as well. And make sure you continue to check out every video that we have, as well as everything over on Patreon. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, TG and Sean, the Buckeye Lounge, will be live tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Don't miss that, everybody. Enjoy the bye week this week. It's our last one, and then it's 5 in a row to finish off the season. Hopefully, cross our fingers, all goes well, the Big Ten championship game, and then it'll be college football playoff time. And we'll be here to cover it all right here on the OHIO podcast. Have a good night, everybody.